So, we are talking about my shirt today. Ow, how? No, I'm just playing. We're talking about being patient and waiting for things that are right for you and not set up. Okay, so if you're like me, you're super future oriented. Things need to happen right now. But that can be a little dangerous because I find myself not living in the moment.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Being future oriented can be super dangerous because you're not appreciating everything that you have, and you're not reflecting, and you're not grateful because honestly, now is not always the right time. God does everything for a reason. I truly believe that the reason why things have not happened for me in my pace is because I'm not ready for it. God will not open a door for you unless you learn certain lessons. And I think that this season of my life, I've just been learning so many different lessons about myself. I've been learning how to cope in heartbreak. I've been learning how to truly love myself when I have nothing. There's been stages in the past few months where I've been so broke, and I have been tested by God in a lot of different ways because I'm like, I used to value, things that I had, which made me feel like more of a person. But now I've been stripped to a point, or I was stripped to a point where I literally had nothing and I was forced to love myself. And I feel like God will allow you to go through certain things just so that you can get that self-love, or just so you can learn a certain lesson. And you have to be patient. It's all about the process. And a lot of times we are just seeing the finished product of a lot of things. So on social media, you're scrolling, you see every picture that's done editing. You rarely see the behind the scenes of what it takes to, take the perfect picture, the hundreds of outtakes that you have, the bad lighting, the ones where you're not looking at your best or as flattered. And and we begin to think that that is real life. And I think that it's important to realize that everything that we see on social media isn't necessarily real. It's not always authentic. And that's why I'm trying to be more authentic with the people that follow me, because I want to bring that to social media, because it's so easy to be impatient whenever you think everybody else around you has it all figured out. Like, it's so easy to go on my Instagram right now and scroll and be like, oh, I want to be like this person. This person has the best life. I have so many people that come up to me or that message me and be like, oh my gosh, Che, you have your life figured out. And if they only knew how much of a hot mess my life is on a regular basis, they definitely would not want this life. And I'm saying that because, like, it's true. We just all need to be more real, because I think that that is what makes me personally more impatient, because I just feel like I am so much behind. I'm like behind where I'm supposed to be because I compare myself to people that I see every day on social media, and self-comparison is literally the devil. If all of us were to stay in our lanes and just be happy with who we are, the world would truly be a better place. My mom is always telling me, you just have to trust in God. You just have to have faith. Things are going to happen when they're supposed to happen. You just have to trust the process and be patient. And that, to me, just drives me crazy because I like to know everything. I want to know. I want to be in control of things. And I've just learned one thing about life is just it's so random that you can't necessarily be in control of things. And things that you're waiting to happen, things that you are so anxious to happen, aren't necessarily the things that need to happen at that time. For example, whenever I went to college and I was applying to college and all this stuff, I was so anxious to get my college acceptance letters, and I ended up the only school working out for me was the best school for me. But if I would have just went to my first acceptance, or not waited enough for the right offer, then I would have been in a place where I would have never even been doing the things that I've been doing now. And being an entrepreneur, you definitely have to be very patient, because growing a business is something that definitely does not happen overnight, and it sometimes takes a few years. And I've been very blessed to have the opportunities that I do have and still be able to live in like one of the most expensive cities and be able to make ends meet every month. It's been a blessing, but it requires a lot of patience. And if you're out here grinding and you have a dream, you have a vision, and you're not seeing a lot of results come from it, it's okay. You just have to keep on going at it, be patient, and not worry about, getting results so fast. I think that sometimes I get discouraged if I don't get enough likes on a picture, or I'm not seeing my engagement go through the roof, or if somebody doesn't like my picture within the first 10 minutes, I'll be tempted to take it down or something like that. And it's just so foolish because, some of the pictures where I was, this is going to sound so shallow, but some of the pictures where I felt like I wasn't getting enough engagement in the very beginning, something kicked in the algorithm, and an hour later, it was some of my most liked pictures. So it's just like, you can't necessarily, hope for everything tomorrow or even today or yesterday. You really just have to, take it a step at a time and live in the moment and be grateful for everything that you have. You have to live in your gratefulness. You have to be grateful for every like that you get. You have to be grateful for every friend that you have. You have to be grateful in your singleness. That's one of the hardest things I've been learning too. It's just like before, I started dating seriously, I was just always like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the right person to come. But, if you're content yourself and you're happy in yourself, you aren't even affected by not having something or what you feel like is absent, because you're just overwhelmed with all the beauty that is in your life. I mean, just think about it. Like, if we're truly focusing on everything that we do have and what we don't have, then there's no way that you can be impatient, because you're living in the now. And if I think about all the things I'm grateful for, whether it's taking a breath or being able to articulate a sentence, I am overwhelmed with gratefulness. And, I feel like you can't be impatient and grateful at the same time. They kind of go hand in hand. And, you know, sometimes it's exciting to, be future oriented, because I can't wait. Like, I had a weekend, a Go Inspo, like, influencer training program that I went to this weekend. I was so excited, and I was looking forward to it. And as time was like winding down, I was getting so impatient, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to a hotel, can't wait to learn all this new information. And I think that is what makes life exciting to a sense. But you can't let it get unhealthy to the fact where you're not really living in the moment and not enjoying your life and not being grateful for everything that you do have. So I really do feel like, we live in a culture where there's so many things that are happening at so many points throughout the day, and it's so easy to get distracted. But as long as you are patient and you trust your process and you stay in your lane, and you don't compare yourself to other people, I feel like those are the steps that you can take to living a very, very happy life. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Chan Daily, and I will catch you soon. Bye.